You guys, there is a fly, possibly two, in this room, and it is bothering my spirit. And when I see it, I'm going to try to kill it. So, there will be some... Just gotta ignore it, okay? Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another episode of Love After Lockup. This is season 2, episode 2, the $12,000 lie. And girl, it's a big ass lie. All right, so let's get started. Let's start off with Matt and Caitlin. If we remember who Matt is somebody who has been in and out of jail for 10, 11 years since juvie because his parents got divorced. He became a drug addict, specifically methamphetamines, and his life has just been in and out of prison ever since then. He met Caitlin on Craigslist or something like that. They started writing, and within 5 months they were in love, engaged, and she has been talking to him for 6 months in total. We start off this episode where she is leaving Matt's mother's house and she's going to a hotel or an area that's closer to the prison, and she's meeting up with her good friend Kelly. Kelly's boyfriend and Matt are cellies in prison, and so Kelly and Caitlin met on the outside and have just been giving each other support. And Caitlin is so excited about this whole thing, and I think that Kelly's going up to have a visit with her man too, so they're just gonna go up there together. Kelly's a tough cookie. She's driving around in that car with duct tape on her window, like it's teal duct tape on my window. What? So as they're driving, they're starting to talk about what it's like to be prison wives or to be with men who are in prison, having to go up to the prison 2 or 3 times a month to visit. And Caitlin's just over ecstatic about the whole situation that she's gonna finally be able to be with Matt. And Kelly's a little bit like, look, I'm happy for you, but sometimes I want to tell you to shut up. I have another 6 years of this or something ridiculous. Like, she's been doing it for 1.5 years, and I think she has like another 5 or 6 years of doing this. So it's kind of difficult for her to be around Caitlin, who's just so giddy and so like, oh, it's happening for me, you know? And I get it, I feel it. So what I'm most excited about is Kelly being on season 7 of Love After Lockup, girl. Thank you, I'm gonna need Kelly in my life. So they get to the hotel. Caitlin's still being kind of annoying about the fact that he's coming out of prison, and so she's like, oh, what dress am I gonna wear, and oh, am I gonna hug this teddy bear, and then tomorrow I'm gonna hug my mans, and like blah 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 blah. We just start to see like how deep in love Caitlin is and how like bad it is, to the point where I can't even comment on it anymore, because I know she's in a place of like just love land. And when you're in love land, at least when I was in love land, there was nothing that you could have said to me about this person. Yes, I agree with you. They are a fuckboy, but I love them. So that does not matter. That's where Caitlin is at this time and place in her life, and there's nothing that anyone can say or do, so all we have to do is just watch the train wreck as it happens. So the next morning she gets up and she's getting ready, girl. She's like, looking, I don't even care what I look like. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get there and I just want to be with my man. I'm so excited. So she's giddy, and you can tell it's so real because it's such a real giddiness that it's just like you're kind of embarrassing yourself. But I get it. You're in love. I feel you. I feel it. Okay. I get what's happening. So she's like, I really believe that this is Matt's my person, and I was meant to be with him, and I have every confidence that when he gets out of prison, he's never going back in again, and that him and I are gonna take over the world together. I mean, that's literally what Caitlin is feeling. She says that it was love at 4th email. And you know what? This is where we at, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing that we can do. She's already past the point of no return, and we're just here again for the train wreck. Because I have no confidence in Matt. The fact is that he hung up the phone on her because she was with his mother. He's not in treatment, which means that he's not on any path to getting better. And I don't think Caitlin even understands that he needs to be in treatment. She should be finding out places for him to go to get treatment. One thing that we did find out about Caitlin is that her entire family has basically turned their backs on her, saying that if she chose to be with him, that she is no longer welcome at her family's place. And I think that's really sad. I mean, but this is her choice. She's a grown woman. She's making this decision. But it's just like, ugh, girl, she has to love Matt. She has to put everything in the Matt basket because she doesn't have any other baskets to go with. So that's why she's full speed ahead. Girl, there's no way out. It's all the way full speed ahead. No way out. I feel bad. Oh well, I'm here for it. So the next couple that we're going to talk about is Clint and Tracy. So if you guys remember Clint is the like lifelong fuck up who's like run a car into like a, what did he do? I put the picture up here. Look at what he's done. He got arrested for running a truck into a storage unit. And I just don't know how this person did it. Like, how did he do that? Anyways, Clint's an idiot, right? His dad thinks he's an idiot, and his mom still has faith that he will be a better person one day. He is 37 years old, and I think Tracy is like 38 years old. Tracy is one day from getting out of prison. Mom has decided that she is going to give Clint some things to help him out with his new life. One, she's going to help him pick out a suit for their wedding, which, P.S., it's pinstripe and looks terrible. Like, who the hell is picking out a pinstripe suit? Not in Hobbs, New Mexico, girl. No. Moving back. So he's at his parents' house, and he drives up in like a cute little car, like some kind of black like Mustang or Dodge Charger or some like little racing muscle car, you know what I'm saying? He gets into the house, which is like lavish, or I mean, it looks nice to me. It's a big house. If you don't have at least a cool million, you're not getting a big house in California, okay? It's just the rules. So anyway, so he walks into this really nice house, and his mom is, you know, still being supportive yet trying to be cautious. But this dodo going ahead and give him a credit card, talking about this credit card is for you and it's not for her, and let her know that you're the one that's gonna have to pay the note on it and that you don't have much money. Girl, he's not gonna let her know none of the above. He is gonna buy Tracy whatever she wants. They're gonna max out that credit card, and who's gonna pay for it? You. She gonna give Clint a credit card. This don't seem, how old, like anytime, okay, Clint is not 18 years old. If your mother hands you a credit card and you a grown ass man, there is a situation, okay? A situation. Clint also said that Tracy is his goddess. He is completely in La La Land. He is completely in the clouds when it comes to Tracy, just completely. He's bought her a ring. And the ring is cute, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's definitely not real diamonds, right? Okay. And he shows it to his dad, and his dad is like, oh, this is a great ring. How much you pay for it? He's like, a lot. I thought he was gonna say like $12,000. He says $2,100. I mean, $2,100 isn't cheap, but rings can cost like $3,000, $5,000, $12,000, $100,000. So like $2,100 on an engagement ring isn't very expensive in the grand scheme of engagement rings. But I guess that's if you're going with real diamonds. So obviously this cubic zirconia or this blue sapphire or this white sapphire, what do they call it? Wait, some people say, what did somebody tell me that it's like a white sapphire or something like that? Or like a blue sapphire? Like whatever it isn't a real diamond. Not to say that anything was wrong with that, but I guess I just thought it was gonna be so much more expensive. And I'm actually glad that it wasn't more expensive, because like $2,100 is just enough money. If that's what he can afford, if that's where he's at life, then perfect. At least he's staying within his means for this girl, because Tracy, so far to me, doesn't deserve anything. Another thing that Clint's mother bought was the tickets to either fly him to Dallas or Texas, wherever she is. I think she's in Houston or Dallas. And then for the both of them to fly back, I believe. I wonder where she's being paroled. Is she on parole? Is Clint gonna have to move to Texas? I'm wondering. I didn't think of any of that. Either way it goes, somebody needs to watch her, because the woman is originally in prison for fraudulent behavior. And Clint's mother is going to give him a credit card, and then for him to tell Tracy to not take advantage of it. She's a fraud. Don't put her around anybody's line of credit, okay? Hide all your credit cards. Hide your keys, hide your credit cards, hide your checkbook, hide your debit card, hide everything. Hide your Walmart card. Don't have any gift cards around her. You know what I'm saying? You need to hide everything from her. You need to hide your whole ass wallet from Tracy. She's not to be trusted. All right, so the next couple that we're gonna talk about is Brittany and Mohammed, what's his name? Marcelino. Mohammed. So the next couple we're going to talk about is Brittany and Marcelino. Actually, just to say Marcelino and Brittany, because we only are introduced to Marcelino at this time. So this is a brand new couple. So Marcelino is a 40-year-old Captain Savaho who used to be a Marine, and he is in love with Brittany. I can't remember how he met Brittany. I think it was from like some kind of online situation. He started writing with her and he has immediately fallen in love with her. Brittany has had all kinds of issues in her life. She has been in and out of prison, and Marcelino just wants to be there to save her so bad. I mean, it's like he knows exactly what he's talking about. He understands exactly what he's getting himself into, and he is just so ready to save Brittany's life. And there is something endearing about that to me. It doesn't seem like he's like delusional in any way. I mean, he might be, but it seems like all of it is rooted in some kind of sane pattern of thought. So Marcelino goes to visit a friend right before he's gonna get Brittany out of prison, and they have a mini conversation, and the friend is like, you're taking on the burden of this woman, are you ready for all of this drama? And he's like, no. He's like, you know, I am ready for it. Apparently Marcelino's a ladies man, and for the last year he's kind of given up his wanton ways in order to stay, you know, focused on one woman, and that one woman being Brittany. And he tells his friend that you know, she's a 4-time felon, and the friend is like, what? And he's like, yeah, but everybody deserves a second chance, and I think I'm here to give her that second chance, and I want to be that person for her. The friend is still skeptical, but you know, Marcelino's a grown-ass man. They're two grown-ass men having a conversation. So he's like, you know, I think she might be taking advantage of my friend, but at the end of the day, he's a grown-ass man, and I really hope that she doesn't, because he's a good guy. But it's up to him, and it's his decisions that he's making. We find out that Marcelino has spends 11 hours a week either talking to her or going to visit her, like, for the last 3 months or something. Wait, I put 11 hours a week for last 3 months. I don't know what that means, but if he's spending 11 hours a week talking to her, or 11 hours a week visiting her or something for the last 3 months, that is so effing crazy. But he's dedicated and he's into it. So we see how he speaks to her too. He gets into his Kia Soul, which to me is so funny because like you think of this man who used to be Marine, and he gets into like the smallest square-shaped car ever. And he drives over to the prison. He gets out and he calls her. And he tells her to like look out her window because he's outside of the prison there for her. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's so sweet. It's so sweet. I can't help but feel like I really hope this works out for him. It's not going to, but I really hope it does because he seems like such a kind soul. Like, he seems like such a kind soul. I love that they show like modeling photos of him, like to show like how good looking he is and like all that stuff. He was like really riding that I'll be sure DeBarge wave at some point because he was giving us a lot of cheekbone, you know what I'm saying? A lot of angles, a lot of silky smooth Spanish hair. I'm just like, okay, go on with your 90 photos, okay? Go on with your 90s photos. Talking about he used to be quite the ladies man. I'm like, yo, Chico DeBarge, you know, I'll be sure looking ass. He starts to cry when he's having conversations with her while he's outside the prison, saying how much he loves her and he can't wait to be with her. You know, it's just like hope for the best, can't wait to watch the worst. All right, so the next couple that we're gonna talk about is Scott and Lizzy. Okay, so we pick up where Scott, Lizzy, and Adam, Scott's son, are at this hotel, and it looks like they have all driven over and they are going to wait for Lizzy to get out of prison. And so our first scene with Lizzy is we see her in some like cork bottom, like cute little shoes, and she's like strutting out of the prison holding all her stuff. Girl, she's been in jail for 10 years. 10 years, ma'am. Like, what is she wearing is what I want to know. Like, what outfit is she wearing? Is she wearing an outfit from 10 years ago? Yes. And I'm here for it. I want to see it. Jasmine, her daughter, Adam, and Scott get into a car and they leave the hotel and they drive over and they're just kind of having small talk, and Jasmine is asking Adam if he's met her mom before. Oh yeah, back at the hotel, when Adam and Jasmine meet each other, Scott's like, oh, you guys could be step brother and sister. And Jasmine's like, you know, let's think about this from Jasmine's perspective. Jasmine says that the last time she saw her mother was 10 years ago when she was 8 or 9 years old. Her mother was supposed to take her to go live with her, and her grandmother and her grandfather would not let Lizzy take her daughter and leave because they said that she was out partying too much and doing too much drugs and she wasn't fit to be a parent. And so Lizzy got upset, I guess, and just left. Or maybe she didn't get upset. Maybe she was just like, yeah, you're right, and left. And that is the last time Jasmine has ever seen her mother. And we don't know how often Lizzy and Jasmine talk, but Jasmine is looking to rekindle and save her mother and build this relationship that got prematurely snatched from them. So she's going through a lot on her own, something that none of us can really understand unless we are specifically in Jasmine's place, in Jasmine's shoes. But we're not, right? I'm not. I don't know nothing about what that would be like. But I think that Jasmine's trying to work through it in the best way that she can. So she's like trying to make nice with Scott, but at the end of the day, if she feels like Scott is a bad influence on her mom, or Scott's not helpful, or is an enabler, she's gonna really like ask Scott to back up so that she can help her mother be the mother and the person that she knows and wants her to be. And I think it's really adult and smart of Jasmine to want to do that. So this van drops her off and all of them are super nervous, right? They are standing at like the drop-off zone, which this whole drop-off zone for how they handle inmates is like absolutely crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. I forgot to talk about this in Matt and Caitlin's storyline. Did I just completely skip this? Wait, let me finish talking about Scott and Lizzy, then we'll go back to Matt and Caitlin. Okay, so Scott and Lizzy, right? So they're at this cornfield or wherever to where they drop off the inmates so the inmates can get with their families, right? Lizzy gets out of the car and she runs across the highway. Well, there's like a little road. She runs across the road and instead of running to her daughter, she runs into Scott's arms, jumps on him. He stumbles back, falls into the bushes and loses his teeth. I'm gonna say that again. She gets out of the van, runs across the road, runs directly to Scott, jumps on him like a koala. He stumbles, falls back into the bushes, and loses like the bridge. And I think the bridge had like a tooth or two teeth on them. And then she gets up and says, "You were supposed to catch me." And he's like, "Yeah, I gathered that. I just couldn't." And then she goes and hugs her daughter, who like is watching this whole thing happen. So you guys, Lizzy is not here for her at all. Lizzy is here for herself. And in her confessional, she's like, "Being in Scott's arms for the first time is such a rush. It's so psychedelically crazy." She's like poor black Marilyn Monroe. Like, what does Lizzy even know about this reality TV she's about to get herself into? She like finally hugs her daughter and she tells her daughter that she's so pretty, but it's so awkward and the daughter doesn't, it's just like, okay. And then she's like, "You know, I haven't been able to be with my daughter for 10 years and it was so great to be able to touch her and hug her. You know, I left her unexpectedly and I can't get back those 10 years. Lizzy's completely resigned to the fact that she will never have that relationship with her daughter, and I think her daughter is expecting a little bit more from her. "I need to let her have the relationship with me that she wants to have because I wasn't there." And that is honestly a really great statement made by Lizzy. I think it was really responsible of her to think that through and to understand that that's exactly what's gonna have to happen. But I don't necessarily know that her daughter is going to give her the tools necessary. It's a really hard situation to navigate, and I think she needs to have that conversation with her and be like, "This is up to you. You have to tell me how you want us to be because I don't know what you need and I don't know what all I can give you." I really hope the best for Lizzy and whatever her name is. Jasmine. Okay, so to go back to Matt, where did I even stop off with Matt and Caitlin? So here's the tea. Caitlin goes to the prison to get Matt and she's sitting out there and they allow her to go in and she says what she's doing there. And they let her by in the gates and she gets to where she thinks she's supposed to be to meet Matt. And then like a group of 3 guards come out and approach the car and she rolls down the window and she's like sweet as pie. She's like, "Hi, I'm here to get Matt, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just really excited. Do I stay here? Is that okay?" And she's like excited and they're just like, "We're gonna need you to leave." And she's like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, completely being complete dicks, like jerks, right? They obviously realize that she doesn't know what's going on. And they're like, "We're gonna need you to leave. This is not, you know, you can't be here. We talked to our superior and you can't be on the campus right now." And she's like, "Okay, well, I called earlier and they told me to come here." "Well, no, you can't be here." "Okay, well then I'm supposed to pick him up. Like, where do I go?" they're like, we're gonna release him into the community. And she's like, oh, okay, well, where is that? Like, where do I go for that? And they're just like, he's not gonna be here. We're going to release him into the community and we can't tell you when. And she's like, well, I don't know what that means, release him into the community. Like, where are you going to drop him off so that I can meet him there? Well, the guard is like, what I'm saying is I'm not going to tell you where that is. I just need you to leave. And she's like, all right. And she like backs up and she like gets out of there and she's like so upset. And I would be upset too. The way that the guards and the whole prison system works when it comes to family members who are just trying to show their loved ones in prison love, the whole system is really fucked up. They are so rude to all parties involved. They treat the family like the families are criminals. And like, I've had this experience with like a cousin. I've had this experience with family members who I tried to like write to or go visit, and they're just such dicks when you go there. Like, it's just so uncomfortable when you try to send something, you know? Like, oh, it needs to be from this. I mean, it's just so, it's like the worst experience for people who didn't go to prison to be treated like that. I don't think I can only imagine if they treat the outside world like that, what they treat the actual prisoners like. How dare they say that to her? She called, they told her what to do, and she gets there and they're telling her she needs to leave immediately. Did she not ask about having the camera crew there? Is that the issue? But even then, why won't they tell her where they're gonna release him into the community at? Like, they act like he's a wild animal and they're just gonna let him go. Like, are you just gonna drop him off on a corner somewhere? Like, are you at least gonna drop him off next to a phone so that he can call? Like, what is the plan? They won't even tell her. She has to just like drive away. Doesn't know where to go. I mean, we know from the preview she eventually finds him, but like, just that whole situation was really crazy. Also, why did 3 guards come out? Why couldn't one person just come out to her and talk to her about it? Why did it have to be 3 of them being assholes? It was just dumb. Anyway, so that's the end of that. I thought that whole situation was out of control and I hated it. All right, so the last couple that we're gonna talk about, or actually it's not even a couple, it's like a threesome that we're gonna talk about, is Megan, Mike, and Sarah. So we met Megan, she's 28 years old, and she's been in love with Mike, and they have been talking to each other. Mike has been in jail for Grand Theft Auto and other things in and out of prison throughout his life since he was 15 years old. So Megan and Michael are fiancés, and Michael still is in contact with his baby mama. Michael has a 2-year-old daughter by Sarah. Sarah is 24 years old. So we open this out with both of these ladies going to get wedding dresses. We have Megan looking for wedding dresses with her friends, and we have Sarah looking at wedding dresses with her friends and family. Megan has a really pretty friend with a bad wig. Like, I love a good, like, she's like a very like natural beauty, you know what I'm saying, this friend, but that wig is like giving me church matron, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not here for that church matron look, because she looks way too young for that wig. So I want her to get a better wig. Both of their friends and families are really concerned with them and their choices to be with Michael, but they're both full speed ahead, right? So we go with Sarah and her best friend, and they are about to do yoga in the park. And they're talking about just like this whole entire journey with Michael, and her friend is really supportive, but also at the same time very worried because she knows that Michael is a fuckboy and has ruined her friend's life and made her cry in the past, and has no faith that he's going to be any better this time. So Sarah gets really upset because she realizes that she has to tell her family this secret. So she tells her best friend that she married Michael, that her and Michael got married while he was in prison. One time she went up there to visit and they got married. And her friend starts to cry and is just like, why did you do that? And she's like, because I believe in him and I believe in our family. I know he's gonna be better when he gets out. When he gets out, everything is gonna go exactly the way it should go. He's gonna really try to be better for our family, and I have to put faith in that. And I just get so sad for women who feel like they need to stay with the father of their children. That they put aside their own happiness and their own well-being for the father and the child. Like, sometimes those sacrifices are necessary, but not when the person isn't worth it. And I don't think Michael's worth it. I mean, I know he's not, right? He's trifling AF. Because then we go over to Megan. And he's proposed to Megan. And him and Megan our affianced, and Megan is going about her life as though she's going to marry him when he gets out of prison in a couple days. So we don't know how this is going to go down. Like, what is it? How did they even get on this show? How did producers even find this couple? Is this whole thing fake? If it is fake, it's really good so far, and I love it. So then we cut to a scene with Megan having a conversation with one of her friends, and they're putting on makeup. I guess they're gonna go out somewhere. I guess Megan was talking to her friend about how often she talks to Michael on the phone, and her friend is just like, well, yeah, wow, that seems like it's a lot of money. You spent a lot of money on phone calls. And Megan's like, yeah. And she's like, well, how much have you spent? And Megan's like, 12,000. And her friend is like, 12,000? And she's like, yeah, 12,000. She's like, you've spent $12,000 on phone calls? Girl, I was so shocked when she said that I literally did not even move. Like, after that scene, there was a commercial, and I sat at my bed. I was laying on my back, and I couldn't move because I was just like, you've taken sex classes, you've embarrassed yourself on national TV and in front of your family. You have spent $12,000 on phone calls, not on clothes, not on like plastic surgery, not on like, and just phone calls. You like, not on like furniture, not on like trips to overseas or to a foreign country, you know, someplace where you can like learn and become enlightened, not $12,000 in like donations. Like, I was just like laying here looking at my TV screen as it went on commercial. I didn't even reach my hand over to get the remote control to fast forward on my DVR. I just laid here until the Liberty commercial came on, where, you know, the Liberty commercials, the auto insurance commercials, where they usually have a couple standing like on a pier with the Statue of Liberty behind them. But it wasn't a couple in this commercial. It was like a guy like standing next to the pier or like walking towards the pier, and he was like whispering, and then all of a sudden he like jumps over the pier into the water, and it like that pulled me out of my reverie because I was like laughing at that because it was so shocking that he just like jumped over the side. But that is what pulled me out of my stupor of thinking about somebody spending $12,000 on phone calls. My feelings are so hurt, and I hate Michael. I mean, Megan is an absolute fool. She's an absolute fool. But Michael is a whole other level of fuckboy trash. The $12,000 lie. All right, you guys, so that's the end of this episode. Please comment down below and let me know what you think about that $12,000 lie or anything that's happened in this episode so far. Let's have a kiki and a conversation in the comment section. Go on ahead and follow me on Instagram. I do post about love after lockup. I mean, it is just insane. Guys, I just finished talking about the $12,000 lies in this filming of 90 Day Fiancé recap that's gonna go up probably on Thursday, and my feelings are just so hurt that she spent $12,000 on conversation. How do you spend $12,000 on words, on air coming out of your mouth into an electrical device, and it's worth it? Like, that money could have gone towards like a down payment on your house, or a down payment like on a car, or like something that could enrich both of your lives together. How do you just waste $12,000 on words, on phone calls? I'm angry now, and I wasn't angry before, but now I'm just like, I can't even, like, I wouldn't even be her friend. If that had been my friend standing next to me, I would have been like, take this shit off of me because I can't be friends with this idiot. Like, I have to leave that bitch alone. That bitch don't make no sense, and she don't make good decisions, and something wrong with her. Okay? Like, I don't care. I'm sad and lonely too, but $12,000? All right, if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to consider becoming a Patreon patron, please click the link down below. Remember to be you, be true, find yourself, make good choices, and think about investing in your future and not making stupid decisions, okay? Bye!